folks. Welcome to MTS. Well, we have another hot summer day and another good deal, hopefully. This is a MTH Tinplate Traditions 263E steam locomotive in the Blue Comet paint scheme with the nickel trim. I've had my eye on one of these for quite a while. However, finding one in my price range had been a futile attempt until now. I was able to pick this one up for $200 with free shipping off of eBay. I went into this knowing that the previous owner could not get it running. Let's unbox and see what we got here. What I really like about these MTH Tinplates is that they used an original Protosounds board set. Oh wow, look at that. I need to get some gloves for this one. As stated, this is one of the original Proto boards. My initial thought is that we take it to the workbench and do some preliminary tests to see if we can get it back up and running. Unpacking the Locomotive, I'm already pleased with my purchase, just as a static model. This thing is just beautiful. Yeah, with the Protosounds, it has the chuffing, the whistle, and the bell sounds. And the way I understand it is that MTH acquired Lionel's tooling to get these together in about 10 years ago or so. But with that, let's take it on over to the workbench and start on some diagnostics. Okay, so got to the workbench. We're just doing some analyzing, doing a little scanning on it. The way that I think is there's two screws here in the back. Then there's two screws on the other side of the truck. Those have to come out. These actually hold the volume pod in there. I can't tell if this screw, I see these two screws on this side are not connected. This one screw may have to come out. And what I'm doing is just kind of eyeballing. You can kind of see there's a small gap right there. And then I've taken these apart before in a post-war period, and I know that this plate on the end comes off. So I'm thinking that there's two smaller screws right here on the front. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just take these screws out, and then see if that separates the shell, and then we can go from there. So for these two front screws, we're going to remove, I've got the smaller micro Phillips head screwdriver. We're just going to take that out there. The remaining screws is just a regular screwdriver. So I know it's back here. I'll zoom you in a little bit. There you go. Take that one out. You thought I was kidding about the rubber gloves, didn't you? Really don't want to get a lot of fingerprints on this. So those two are in the back. Got the two right there. These two screws in the middle. On either end, because I can see that there's a tab for the electronics. It feels like it's loose. I think we got it. Now we're just going to be ever so gently just trying to move this out of here. I think what I'm going to have to do is actually slide that out. I already see where I took two screws out that I shouldn't have. That's these two screws right here. They actually hold there's a brass plate that's holding the Protosounds in place. So I removed those. I had to put those back. But I think what we're going to do is we're just going to slide the shell forward so I can access these two screws here to take that metal plate off the front. I'll just keep track of all these screws. this metal plate that's on the front. It should come right out now. There we go. That's where the speaker is housed. And then I can slide the whole assembly off of here. Just like that. Okay, so I went ahead and secured those 2 screws that I had taken out that holds the Proto 1 cards in place here. So now we're all back together. It does have the original battery. That makes me feel good. Nobody's been in here and tampered with this. Other thing, I'm going to go ahead and just unplug the speaker. It's mounted to this front of the plate and that goes in front of the tender. So I'm just going to have to remember that these little brass pieces or the clips are on the top. And we can just kind of set that to the side. Okay, and then we'll get started with a preliminary test. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and remove this old battery. It looks like it's just stuck into place here. Yeah, there's a little piece of double stick tape there that's connected to it. I'm just going to remove that completely. This is done anyway. I'm not going to try to reuse this battery. I'm going to, more than likely, if it all works like it's supposed to, we'll just put a brand new BCR in it, and we'll be good to go. Go ahead and remove this and this. Good thing is there's not any kind of corrosion that I'm seeing, so that's a plus. Nice and clean. All right, and what we're going to do is I'm going to hook up a fairly new battery, right? I just did a test on it. It is showing 19 volts on it, so we should be good on that. And then we're just going to take it to the layout. I'm going to bring the speaker with me just so I can test it and hear, see if there's any sounds, and we'll go from there. And hopefully this is a quick fix, right? We'll have to see. I've actually come across those before where it's nothing more than the battery. However, process of elimination, we'll start with the battery. If we're still not getting anything, we'll do a reset using the transformer. And if that's not working, then we'll do a proto chip reset using the Protosounds reset kit that I've got. So with that, we'll go ahead and go to the layout. All right, folks. So we've got it on, I've got the Locomotive on my layout. I've still got the shell off the top. As you can see, I've just got went ahead and plugged my speaker back in right over there. There it is on the other side. Got a little bit. Let's see what we got here. Just gonna go ahead and apply 12 volts. Oh, I've got another locomotive on this line, but this is really exciting. It started right up. I think we're not going to have any issue at all. I'm going to take the other locomotive off. We'll go from there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hook up the tender. There we go. Wow, look at this. This is just great. I hear the smoke unit going. It's got the red fire glow box in the back. The front headlight's not working, but I'm not sure if that's directional or not. But this is awesome. Okay, let me figure out how I'm gonna. I guess I'll just hold it. I'm gonna go ahead and see if it goes in forward. Okay. Put in reverse. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. There it goes. All right. So the first thing I notice is it's really hesitating going into forward and reverse. I don't think that it's so. I think we have the electronics are sound. I think we're good on that. Because when I put it into forward, it was trying to move into forward, but it was just really struggling. Same with reverse. I could see when it wanted to go in reverse, but it was really struggling. So I think our issue is more in the locomotive. So we're going to take that back to the workbench. I'm going to go ahead and just I'm going to install a BCR into the tender and put the tender back together, since that's not our issue, and then we'll start working on the locomotive. Okay, so I've already cut to size. I've had this 3M double stick, so we're just going to swap that out. I'm going to place that right back on top of there. This is some really good, has some really good adhesion. So we'll put that right there. I'll go ahead and unplug a little 9-volt battery. That worked as a good test. We're going to plug in the BCR. There we go. I'm just going to stick it right back where it was. There we go. Okay. And like I said, I'll go ahead and put the shell back on it now, and we'll start focusing our attention on the locomotive. Okay. All back together. And no leftover parts. Always a plus. Okay, now while I have taken apart several of these style tenders, I have not taken apart the engines. So what I'm going to do is just we're going to get some lubrication on here, check for any kind of binding in the side rods. Not feeling anything, everything feels pretty loose. I am going to drop a few drops of oil just to ensure that we've got proper lubrication. And then I'm just going to kind of spin the flywheel. You can see the flywheel's right there. We're going to spin that around, see if we can get it this loosened up where we can just make it start running again. That would be ideal, right? So yeah, we'll go ahead and start with that. So I'm going to go ahead and just start spinning this flywheel down here. It's pretty sluggish. Set this down here, see if we can. May need just the gearbox, which I'm assuming, yeah, it looks like it has an old gearbox in it. That just may need some new lubrication. So as I'm feeling how this is rotating, it gets to a certain point where it gets really free. Oh, okay, wait a minute. I'm actually looking down. Where that gear, I see the gear actually. I don't know if maybe I'll show it to you guys or not. Let me see if I can zoom in here and see if you can see what I'm seeing. There it goes. So if you look, right down in there's the gear, the worm gear that's actually set up. Let me put some more lubrication on that, see if we can get this worked out. It may just be, like I said, it just may just be gummy from just sitting for so long. So I'll put some lubrication around there. It's still just, the 12 volts is just not going to be able to turn that flywheel. It's just too gummy. So I know MTH does a good job as far as designing these so where they can be taken apart pretty easily. I want to be able to just take the shell off, the lighter blue off the dark blue is what I'm really looking to try to do here. So there's 2 screws on the back. and then there's a screw, 2 screws on the front on either side that hold the front
boiler plate
in. Is that all there is to it? I don't know. Let's give that a try. Back. Let's see if this takes the front one off. That's not lifting. It's not wanting to move. Oh, look at there. There's the reason why my light bulb wasn't working. Okay, I'm just going to see if I can remove this out of there now. There we go. Okay, that's designed just like it was by Lionel back in the day. Okay. Still working through it to see what we can find. I see these 2 screws here, but I'm thinking that those are actually keeping, they're for this light bulb. That's right there. Let's see. Flathead screwdriver. See what I'm looking at there? Right there. It's a longer screw. No. So the flathead screwdriver just holds the steam chest in place. Okay, there's a hidden screw right in the funnel. So I'm going to remove that out of the top of the unit. Let's see if that, oh, we got movement. Okay, well, we're making progress. Okay, I think I figured it out. So those 2 screws that I thought were just holding that piece, that light bulb assembly in, I think they're connected to that tinplate. They're a little bit longer. Put those in the back part of it. All right, let's see if that, oh, there we go. Look at here. Always want to be careful. There's a plug, something's plugged into it. Nope, there's a wire that's actually hung up on one of the pieces of nickel. There we go. Oh, that's perfect. Gives us much more bird's eye view. And all right, I removed the 4 screws that were holding that in, and it's actually not the grease. So once I remove the motor, that spins like jelly. There's nothing to it. However, when I go to try to push the locomotive, those wheels aren't turning. Well, they're getting a little better. Wait a minute, this may be it. All right, let me go through. That's a whole lot better already. Could that be it? It was just gummed up. Uh-oh, wait a minute, I see something already. So I'm noticing this linkage is out. I'll have to fix that. Okay. Motor's good. Spins freely. We're going to go through the linkages and the gearing here, or not the gears. There's really not anything to this. See if I can figure out why this is still got me. It's a lot better than it was when I first did it, and maybe that's all it needs, is just a little back and forth. There we go, folks. Look at that. Smooth as silk. Just needed some lubrication. It was still getting hung up. I determined that when I took that screw out for the steam chest, I must have removed one of these side linkages, and it was actually propped up on the top of the steam chest. That was causing it to bind. But yeah, got that out of the way, and we're doing full rotations. Everything's great. So I'm going to go ahead and put the motor assembly back into place, and it gets the ground wire on the side, and try to do it without desoldering or breaking these solder points on this motor. I think we'll be good to go. At that point, we'll put the shell back on and go from there. Okay, so just kind of set the shell back on top. I'm going to go ahead and get some smoke fluid, because that was pretty dry down in there. Just making sure everything's lined up, nothing's binding. I think we're all set. So the two longer screws go in the very bottom on the back side. This is the screw that goes in the top. So we'll start with that screw. Always remember to back out till you hear a pop, and then that way you're not as apt to strip that screw out. I'm just going to snug that down. I don't want to put too much on it. Alright, in order to flip it over, I'm going to use those two longer screws. We have the two screws that go into the back. And then we just have the front plate. Again, I've made sure that light bulb is secure. It's tightened down. So we should have light on the front now when we run it in a minute. It just snaps into place. There we go. Let's get it back to the layout. All right, folks, I think we're ready. Let's get this thing fired up. Now, I did install the new BCR, so we're going to let it charge for about a minute. But just want to go through. Wow, that thing is smoking. Look at there. Headlights are working fine. Oh, this is a beauty. Oh yeah. In closing, this was one of my most satisfying repairs. We replaced the old battery with the BCR, then removed the shell of the locomotive and the motor/worm gear. from the drive. After some fresh lubrication, determined it was ready for the layout. Hope you enjoyed the video and maybe helps you out in a repair project of your own. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you down the line.